Who do you think sounds worse here? Is it Jerry or Charlotte?
Look, they have both said some things that you just sit there and your jaw just hits the floor. I just don't like the fact that her comments come off as us manufacturing narratives and storylines about this football team. We don't have to manufacture anything. They're making the comments. You know, the fact that the facts are what they are. The way in which this contract negotiation for Micah Parsons has played out is so counterintuitive to everything that front offices are trying to get done year after year with players like Micah Parsons. You dream of this scenario if you're a general manager. You dream of drafting a guy in the first round at an impact position who has been on the football field for you, who has been a force multiplier on your football team, who's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. These are the kind of guys you go to early and you say, we want to take care of you because we want you to be a guy who eventually becomes one of those people on the Mount Rushmore of this fantastic organization. That's the thing that you want to be proactive about. You don't try and be kind of slithery about it and say, hey, look, let me talk to you one-on-one about this when you know that the contract is going to be historic in terms of its size and in terms of its scope. This is the kind of thing you go to his agent and you bring him in and you say, hey, look, this is a foundational guy. This is a foundational guy in the history of this organization. Let's do this the right way and get done with it. And now you won't talk to the guy's representation.
Now,
what is that?
If your argument here, we're saying two things. The first thing we're saying, well, he handled this negotiation poorly. He showed disrespect, didn't bring the agent in, and obviously Parsons is not as sharp as the agent because he's not, he's 25 years old. I agree with that. If your argument is Jerry Jones should have handled this negotiation much more properly and been fair to the kid, 100%. But that is not the argument here. The argument here, to me, is simply, will Michael Parsons be a Dallas Cowboy on September 5th? And on September 4th, I still swear he's going to be, and you and me and Ryan and Stephen A. and Molly, we're going to say, okay, enough of that. We've spent 3 months on it. We got a lot of mileage out of it. Boy, did we get mileage out of it. Now let's play the football game on NBC on September 5th. That's what I think we're going to be.
I don't necessarily see that as being the case. I just don't. I don't see it being that easy.
Go ahead, Stephen A.
Well, it's not going to be that easy, but just so y'all know, Lewis and RC and Molly, in case you haven't noticed, there's a new show coming on SiriusXM September 22nd, September 2nd. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio. I debut September 2nd. I'm the lead-in to Mad Dog Russo. And then I re-air after he goes off the air. And you know me, I'm the kind of person that'll come back on live after 6 o'clock if I ain't like what the hell I had him say between 3 and 6. You know, that's always that potential with me. I bring that up for this reason. There's a whole bunch of people throughout the industry, and they're not wrong. I'm not castigating anybody, but think just like Doggy. Week 1, he's going to end up a Dallas Cowboy, and that's that. For some of us, it ain't like that. We ain't going to have that kind of mentality. It's not about him signing by week 1. It's about what happened during the process. And I would ask Doggy to take this into consideration. You know how many times you've been annoyed over the years when guys have been under contracts and they're making millions of dollars, to use your words, and you have felt, Doggy, you and a lot of your contemporaries, about how dare they feel slighted. You're making all of this money. Oh, please, nonsense. Go out there and play, blah, blah, blah. But somehow, some way, some of the things that they bring up in terms of a lack of respect and decency and the way that they were treated during the negotiations and some of the things that they had to endure and experience had them feeling slighted in a way that was incredibly alarming to them. And a lot of times folks like yourself may not want to hear that, but folks like me do want to hear that because the process and what transpires matters. You are Micah Parsons. You are 25 years old, admittedly unqualified to represent yourself in a negotiation, and a man that negotiates for a living, that has built billions of dollars for himself and his brand, who is in his 80s, who has been doing this for the better part of the last 60 years, at least 35 years before you were even conceived. This man is standing there and treating you like you're somebody that made an agreement with him and won't even talk to your representation. And then his son comes out and his son says, oh, Micah Parsons has to want to get paid. And now we've got the daughter talking about how, you know what, this what comes with the territory. That's the media intimating that it's some kind of fabrication as opposed to accepting the onus and the responsibility that comes along with them. I love me some Jerry Jones. I know he's done a lot of good for a lot of former players and a lot of people. Everybody knows I have a relationship with them. But this stuff right here, this is some inexcusable stuff that I believe he needs to explain. I'm sorry. There's no way around that, doggy. There's no way around that.
There's a level of respect and decorum that entitlement has made absent in the comments of the Jones. They're letting some of their intrusive thoughts and the conversations they have around dinner tables become public, right? This has become very personal with Micah Parsons, and a man that has done business as well and as long as Jerry Jones has understands that you can't make business personal for someone like Micah Parsons because he only has one career. They've been able to grow this business $9+ billion in 30 years where they haven't been to a championship game. Micah Parsons only gets one chance at this.
He's making $21 million a year.
Mad
you know?
Dog, you're missing the point.
No, I'm out.
See?
No, I'm out.
See?
Mad
There's a
Dog,
doggy.
Mad Dog, everybody has a breaking point for disrespect. You can only take so much. So when you've been loyal to someone year after year after year after year, that is a slap in the face. And then to do it publicly, and then at some point you have to say, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore, and I'm going to be the first to do it, even if it is the Jones, because it's about principles, and it's about disrespect. Not everything in life is about money.
In the NFL, it is. It's
But
about how much money you get paid in the
then we
NFL.
see life differently.
Dog, it is. Look, the NFL is. Look, professional sports is a transactional world. I will give you that. It is that. But see, there's also a process by which it becomes transactional that they right now are setting a whole new paradigm up. Look, there have been many guys in the NFL who are top-level players who have wound up getting paid in a very transactional manner to which they were treated the right way during the process.
Did you feel this way about T.J. Watt? Were you screaming that T.J. Watt was under contract and T.J. Watt was going to make a certain amount of money?
I have screamed about that.
But you know what? Here's the point,
Is Trey Hendrickson supposed to just play for the $16 million?
Here's the point, though.
But listen, he also renegotiated his contract, and he signed.
Okay, one at a time, guys.
The Rooneys.
He signed.
Have you ever heard of the Rooneys saying to a player, didn't I talk to you one-on-one, RC? I don't need to talk to your agent. So you're not going to take the deal. And then your agent's calling and and Mr. Rooney's going, I'm not going to call back. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking. It's the manner in which we're doing this.
But hold on. To encapsulate this, because it's very important that I say this with RC and Lewis right here. You see, Doggy is not wrong. Here's the issue. The Jerry Jones of the world and owners like that and executives like that or whatever are counting on the doggies of the world in the media all over the place to think just like he's thinking. Doggy's like, he's getting paid $21 million a year. Hey, he's under contract, okay? That's it. That's it. I'll see you week one. It stops there because that's the bottom line for most commentators, pundits, reporters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It goes a little bit deeper with some others, myself, RC, Lewis, because we see it differently. It doesn't make Doggy wrong, but what it points out is how the industry of sports, in this particular instance, relies on that kind of thinking to sort of gloss over all the stuff that's transpiring that is a bit offensive to a lot of people. It ain't just about Micah Parsons. You got a whole bunch of cats out here that are looking at what's happening with him in terms of the treatment he's being accorded. And they're like, what the hell is going on? Did that happen to Tony Romo? Did that happen to Troy Aikman? Did that happen to a bunch of players that have played for Jerry Jones? A few of them, it has not happened. And it's never happened like this. We didn't even hear, whether it was CeeDee Lamb, whether it was Dak Prescott, took a little bit long to take care of him. CeeDee Lamb, the same thing, along with other players. Don't get me started with Emmitt Smith back in 1992. But we have never seen an owner say, I'm not talking to the agent. Well, I talked to him. We had a deal. What are you talking about? That is alarming.
When they hug and kiss sometime before September 5th and Parsons is on the field, this conversation will be finally put to rest. because he's playing that first game for Dallas. They're not trading him. Dallas is not trading him for a draft pick. The Patriots, $30 million under the cap. He's not trading him to Bob Kraft. He can't stand Kraft. He's not trading him to him. He hates Kraft because he's in the Hall of Fame. Kraft isn't. So there's a lot of issues there. He will be on the Cowboys on the 5th. And you, on Friday morning, September 6th, will be waxing with poetry about how great he played against the Philadelphia offense. You watch. And you and Ryan.
Or maybe he did.
No what happened in August.
Nope. Oh, I'm going to care. How they do business is important.
We're going to care.
We're going to care.
We're going to
Once
care.
the game start, you
That's
won't.
what Doggie's not getting. We're going to care.
Once the game start, you won't.
Okay.
It's about the games.
Okay.
It's sport.
Guys,
right.
let's all take a breather.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick
I got
commercial
all of you
break.
against me. Oh, my goodness. To start the day.
My
Jeez.
goodness.